So this is the truth about Faze 2.0. I think they mean by the 2024 recruits from Faze. I think that's what they mean when they say 2.0. This video is by TimmyFNBR. Um, Shout out to him. Let's see if this video is good or not, and let me see what it's about. I'm gonna say if it's accurate or not, cause for me, I know everything about Faze on some shit, on some chill shit though.
Have grown to insane popularity. However,
Accurate.
sometimes those massive creators fall off.
Faze doesn't have my back.
That's accurate.
You guys don't value me.
Let me say something, man. The guy who owned Faze back when it was falling is so fucked, man. I mean, look at how they had rain. They had rain like this, bro. This is fucked, bro. This is one of the founders of Faze, and he's like this because of what Faze was at that point. Man, it's so sad to see how bad it got for them. But I'm glad they got out of it, you know what I mean? They're better now. That's great.
Because of you guys.
But perhaps the only thing more impressive than blowing up as a creator in the first place is reviving yourself from the dead and coming back from your fall off. Today,
That's
I'm going
facts.
to be telling the story of the greatest revival in content history. The story of a group of guys who brought their careers back from death row.
Stream every single day. I'm trying to get 10 hours a day, bro. It's fucking hard, man. It's fucking hard when I wake up and I look in the mirror and I see disappointment, bro. I'm a fucking failure, bro.
Not only to survive, but to absolutely dominate the content scene. A lot of you love them, and probably just as many of you hate them. But nobody can doubt their relevance and their comeback.
I'm honored to present the best content organization, and the people goes to Faze Clan.
This is the revival of Faze Clan. Faze Clan actually got its start.
Boy, that intro gave me chills. I'm not gonna lie. That intro gave me chills.
Revival
Woo.
of Faze Clan. Faze Clan actually got its start over 15 years ago. It was started
That's
by
fucking
three
crazy,
teenagers from
bro.
all over the world who met during their time playing Call of Duty on Xbox Live. Their names, or rather gamer tags, were Clips, Housecat, who later became Timid, and Resistance. The three of them decided to start a gaming team together, simply known as Faze Sniping, on May 30th of 2010. You could probably guess what their channel focused on. You guessed it, sniping. Well, Call of Duty trick shots to be more exact.
Bro, what? Dude, chill, bro. Oh my God, I hit a fucking crane shot.
At the time, the world of gaming and esports was absolutely nowhere near as big as it is today. Back then, the esports community was not only small, but also very rigid. There was no social media and trick shots. It was mostly just a bunch of old guys playing against each other in a room. But the guys at Faze wanted to be different. They leveraged social media and hit trick shots and made crazy clips, which caused them to absolutely blow up.
That was fucking crazy, bro. This the shit they was doing? This the shit? I see why. I see why they went big. What the fuck? How many kills was that? Look at
Crazy
this.
clips, which caused them to absolutely blow up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 kill streak right there, bro. Nobody knows how hard that shit is, bro. 5 kill streak is crazy. With snipers, back to back.
On October 8th of 2012, Faze hit 1 million subscribers. And while 1 million subscribers doesn't seem like a ton now, because a lot of people have reached that milestone,
That's still a
this was
ton, bro.
huge deal back in 2012. I mean, there were probably only 100 or so channels that had reached this milestone then, so Faze was ahead of the game. And because of all this popularity, the boys decided to move in together and launch the first ever Faze house in November of 2014. And before we could talk about modern day Faze, I thought it was important to share this history with you guys because this is the basis
Nah, that's
for
good.
everything
That's
Faze
facts.
is today.
That's
But
facts.
before we talk
We
more
need to
about
know
where these
this.
streamers came from and how they joined Faze Clan, I think it's important you guys know.
Yo, when I seen this fucking trailer, bro, y'all don't understand, bro. I was doing fucking backflips on the dick. Wait, I was doing backflips, not on the dick, but just backflips, bro. This is, bro, I was so energized, bro. Like, look at this, bro. Look at Jason, bro. Look at Lacey, bro. Max, Silky. Everybody changed so much since then, bro. Especially Jason, bro.
Oh, what happened to Faze in the years between 2014 and today? Faze became one of the greatest Fortnite teams in the world. They dominated CSGO and did a whole bunch more great things for the gaming community. But they made one fatal mistake a few years ago that almost jeopardized the entire company. In July of 2022, Faze decided to go public on the stock market, and it was an absolute disaster. On top of me losing a bunch of my own personal money in Faze, a lot of other people did too, because over the course of the first few months, the stock plummeted from where it originally launched on the stock market. In September of 2022, later that year, it was announced that the business only had enough money left to make it to November of the next year. And for those of you who don't know anything about business or money, that's really bad. By February 2023, just 5 months later, 20% of Faze's staff had been fired so that they could afford to keep going. And with things looking as bad as they did, Faze Banks and other OG members of the group started to complain on Twitter about the new management. And to be fair, they had a lot to complain about. I mean, the company was falling apart from a monetary standpoint, but also all of the clout and energy behind the team that they had gained over the last 10 years was disappearing due to people's disappointment with the new organization.
On April 4th, it was reported that Snoop Dogg is no longer on the board of directors for Faze Clan. His presence on the board seemed to have upset many former members who felt they were misled by the signing of celebrities and not compensated properly for their part in building Faze.
Because of all of these factors, Faze Clan ended up being bought out by a company called GameSquare in October for only $17 million. And yes, don't get me wrong, $17 million is a ton of money. But in 2021, just 2 years before this, Faze was valued at a whopping $1 billion. So to lose almost that entire valuation in 2 years is not a good sign. With the team being bought out, a ton of longtime Faze and gaming fans were worried that this would be the end. That some guys who had no idea what they were doing would buy out the team, try and save it, and get rid of all the old people like Banks, Temper, and Apex. But in fact, GameSquare did the exact opposite.
Some big news out there is the Faze Clan merger with GameSquare has now officially been approved by all stockholders on both sides. Initially voted on by Faze Clan stockholders, and now GameSquare stockholders coming to the same conclusion that is approving ultimately the merger between companies GameSquare to acquire or merge with Faze Clan. And with it comes some big news, as we already talked about, as people like Apex and Adapt.
Hold on, so it took about 7 months for them to plan, get everything, to choose the new members. Because look, as I said, it says Banks got it in October 20th, 2023. Didn't they announced the new Faze members in like what, May? Was it May they announced? Was it May or April? It was around here. They announced the new Faze members, and nobody thought that shit was gonna work. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hating because I didn't know about it, bro. I didn't know nothing about that because I low-key tapped into Faze in the 2024 Faze art, bro. I was like, bro, I was hating. I'm not gonna lie, I was hating. Just a tiny bit. I only hated one time. I said like one sentence talking about they got rid of everyone. That shit's crazy. That's it. But after that, bro, I tapped in. I mean, because I used to watch Max, bro. I tapped in, and they was going crazy. They was going crazy as fuck, bro. And I was watching every day, every night, every single upload they posted. I was watching. Cause I wasn't even like, I didn't use the Twitch app like that. Only times I used Twitch was back when I was streaming in like 8th grade, bro. Tapped in, bro. Started watching the streams. Then the Japan trip came, bro. That shit, they went crazy, bro. It's truly phenomenal what they've done, bro. What they've done. And I've said it before. I'm gonna say it again and again and again and again. I truly hope that I become like part of something like Faze, or even part of Faze. I'm not talking about I need to join the group, but I want to be involved with Faze. You know what I mean? Like Yugi, Arky, that'd be cool, bro. You know what I mean? Fuck it, make me Faze. I want to be Faze G League, bro. If not Faze.
Will take up some big roles in the new Faze Clan. And some bigger news out there, Faze Banks is supposedly set to become the brand new Faze Clan CEO.
Turns out that they were speaking to Banks behind the scenes this whole time. Banks became the CEO, Temper became the president, and Apex was the COO. Finally, the company was back in the hands of the people that started all of this in the first place.
Yeah, the dude that was there, bro. When they remade this, bro, this was so crazy, bro. When they remade that, bro, the dude that was in every single fucking Faze house, bro. That's crazy. Dude that lived a legendary fucking life, bro.
For the first few months of this Phase 2, let's call it, nothing really happened. The company was running like normal, and a few creators were dropped here and there, but nothing much changed. However, little did we know at the time, Banks alongside Temper and Apex were in the background cooking up a strategy that would launch Faze back into the forefront of gaming. So on April 27th of 2023, Faze came out of
lost
nowhere
mad weight, bro.
and
Props
made one
to
of the
him.
biggest announcements in YouTube gaming history. They fired everyone. Well, not technically everyone, but pretty much everyone. And I mean a lot of people left Faze. 17 members of the gaming org were dropped all at once. This also included some of the legacy members like Blaze, Fakey, and Rain. So instead of being a team of almost 50, Faze now only had 14 people on the roster. Some of the old members like Banks, Adapt, Apex, and Rug, but also some new members like Stable Ronaldo and Nick Merckx.
It's really weird trying to help a team out when they don't want help and still had so much love and passion for a team that I didn't even get paid to stay there. I stayed because I loved it. But this has been like a year in the making. I'm not stupid. They treated like we were stupid.
And obviously this made a ton of people mad. I mean, who wouldn't be? A ton of people's favorite creators were just betrayed by their org, and there was a ton of beef. And a lot of people said that behind the scenes there was no communication.
The fact that I care this much and I'm not even a real owner. Everyone has made it very clear that I'm not an owner and I'm not even near any of the top dogs and I don't matter for shit.
Some streamers even found out live on stream that they were being dropped.
I think the only thing that sucked is being in Faze for like close to.
Is that who that plays Fortnite or not?
DM or anything from anybody. That's like what sucks.
While a lot of people were upset that their favorite members were gone, many were also excited to see what this new roster was going to look like. In the coming days, Faze would start to pick up some streamers that a lot of us may not have heard of. People like Blackboy Max,
Blackboy,
and Lacey, who those of my viewers who are from the Fortnite community definitely know. And at first, people really were against these signings. They were confused by who these small random streamers were. And they weren't tiny. They had a couple hundred viewers or even a couple thousand viewers for some of them, but they were certainly not to the previous standard that Faze had, which was the biggest creators in the world. Love it or hate it though, since that announcement last year, Faze has absolutely blew up again.
I'm honored to present the best content organization, and the people goes to Faze Clan.
Of course it does, bro. They did that shit. Nobody else is doing it like Faze, I promise you.
They made a whole new channel for their new roster's content, and their videos are consistently reaching over 1 million views. And they even started a brand new Faze content house.
We are back, and welcome to the brand new Faze house.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. I'm not gonna lie. He made this video. All right, how recent was it, bro? Very fucking recent, actually. I'm not gonna say nothing. But what I was gonna say was, he made this video. He should have talked about the first Faze house, like the first 2024 Faze house, bro. Broadlawn. I forgot the numbers, but Broadlawn, bro. I actually have the Faze house saved right here. I found it by literally going through every place on the map, bro. Like, this is it right here. Old Faze house. That motherfucker Protect, bro. I mean, yeah, Protect. He was in that bitch for some reason. I don't know why. But yeah.
That being said, even with their rise, there are OG fans that are disappointed with the style of content they're doing. But unfortunately, or fortunately, based on how you look at it, content creators and groups like Faze always have to be evolving. Like I said early on in this video, Faze Clan was ahead of the curve when it came to content. And that's exactly what they're doing now. People just aren't liking that they're outside of esports. But at the end of the day, this is still a group of guys getting together and making people smile. Their newest recruits of Ronaldo and Lacey are absolutely crushing it on stream. And Jason Lewin specifically is getting a ton of views. But perhaps the coolest part of all of this is that they're boosting the older guys as well. Adapt, who is one of the more OG members of Faze, is absolutely crushing it on Twitch. And that's not to say that he wasn't popular before, but he was nowhere near this level of fame before people like Ronaldo, Lacey, Jason, and Max helped lifted him up and brought in a whole new viewership. So with all these new views on Twitch...
Hey, man, no matter what, Max would always be Faze to me, bro. No matter what. But I don't know if I'm the only one, but it feels like they mad distant now. Like when Lacey went over to Max's crib, it felt like it felt awkward to me. I think it felt awkward for me. Just my opinion. Not that it mattered though.
And of course, the boy Faze Rug holding it down on YouTube for the last 1,000,000 years. It seems like Faze has a grip.
Rug is fucking unstoppable on YouTube, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Let's be honest.
Basically, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. This award goes to these guys. You brought it back. You guys have heard the story 1,000,000 times. I guess I can run it through one more time. We got stolen from us, me and my boys. Shout out Tommy, Rain, Apex. Got it back. Did the only thing that there was to really do, which was wipe the slate clean, hit the reset button, give it a fresh start. People told us we were dumb. People told me I was ruining Faze. People asked me, who the is Lacey? Who the is Black Boy Max, Stable Ronaldo? Who the Silky? I guess now they know. Damn!
Hey, W fucking Faze, yo. Faze the fuck up, you heard? W's. W. What's going to be next for Faze? They going to the fucking top. What else? What else you want to hear, bro? It's over. It's raps. You heard? Good video. Hey, Timmy. Good video. Hopefully you posted one like when 2024 shit happened. But good video, bro. I don't know if I should go through a... Let me see if I got something in here. Dang.